Hey, what's up guys, TechTime here, and I finally got my hands on the brand new Samsung Galaxy A37. And this is Samsung's attempt at making a budget smartphone that feels more on the higher end of mid-range phones. So the starting price for this generation is $100 higher than the previous one. So the previous had $399 as a starting price point. The A37 comes in at $499. Now, is the price justifiable? Ultimately, that belongs to you, but in my personal opinion, they need to really bring a lot to the table to justify that $500 price point because that's a really competitive price for a Galaxy A37. So, beginning with the design itself, Samsung really has, I don't want to say dramatically improved the design, but they did make some initial changes. So basically the camera housing itself does look a little bit different than the previous generation. It follows almost sort of a Galaxy S26 look. And the back and the front is made out of Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. This phone does support IP68 water and dust resistance. It also comes in at 7.4 millimeters thin. On the top you have your tool microphone. On the right hand side you have your power button, volume up and down, which the frame of the phone is made out of plastic. So there's that first trade-off for you, but it's definitely thinner than the previous generation. You have your USB-C that supports 45 watt of fast charging, your SIM tray, your bottom-facing speaker, and this phone to this day still lacks wireless charging, which you see that on even cheaper devices from Motorola, such as the Moto G Power and the Moto G Stylus, which is an interesting take. But overall, as a design, they've made some subtle improvements like thinner chassis, different camera design, but definitely a familiar look overall though. So if we turn around and look at the display, you get a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display that Samsung loves to make some really quality display, and this here is no exception. So you get 120 Hz of adaptive refresh rate, 1900 nits of high peak brightness, which sounds really good, but reality is that it's not really quite going to reach that unless you're watching HDR content. But overall though, in outdoor conditions, I really didn't have issues with this display's brightness. It works really well, and I don't expect to have any issues with the screen. Now, if I were to sort of nitpick and complain, I will say that the bezels are still slightly on the larger side. If you want to get smaller bezels, I think you just have to opt in for the Galaxy A57, which comes in at an even $100 higher price tag. But yeah, display, not really too much to complain about. Still really solid screen, which the previous generation also had a really solid screen. So there's that for you. And you can obviously control a lot if you want to give it a natural look or a vivid look. You can control that in the settings. So it does give you basically really customizable in a way display. Okay, so the next conversation, which is going to be a quick one, is going to be in the camera department. And this by no means a review. There's still going to be a lot of testing that needs to be done, but you also get a 50 megapixel main sensor for your camera, ultra wide, as well as a kind of a macro sensor, which again I'm not really the biggest fan of. Now the 50 megapixel does have optical image stabilization and keeps the pictures sharp and really good, but I've only had this one for a few hours. I do need to put it through its paces, and even compared to the previous generation, the 8 megapixel ultra wide is also nice to have for wider shots, and it's a cool addition. You also have some really nice video capability here, and you can get up to 4K on this device, which is really cool. The selfie megapixel is still 12 megapixels. Okay, so I want to speak a little bit on the performance of the Galaxy A37. From a performance perspective, it's really very similar to the previous generation. I don't think much has changed in that regard. But for your everyday tasks, this phone is fluid, smooth, and it does come out of Android 16 out the top. I know Android 17 just previously launched, but Samsung is promising 6 years of OS and security updates. I believe 3 of those years are going to be major operating system upgrades, so that's a thumbs up. You get 45 watt of fast charging, a 5000 milliamp hour battery, which is what you would expect in today's world. However, I'm not gonna lie, the lack of wireless charging is just I'm not really a big fan of that. The starting storage for the 499 is 128 gigabytes. It is non-expandable, so keep that in mind. But again, I still have to put this phone through its paces and through its tests. I've only had it literally for a few hours. So pretty kind of a chill upgrade if you ask me right off the top, but I feel like once I put this phone through its paces, it will give me a better kind of conclusion on how this will stack up in the budget world. And I also have the 2025 or 2026 Moto G stylus coming on the way, so stay on the lookout for that. I think that would be a fun comparison between the Motorola's sort of mid-range and the Samsung's mid-range. The stylus 2026, the A37 are very, very comparable. So with that being said, I do want to thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and more videos are coming real soon, so I do appreciate you all for watching. Catch you next time. Thank you for watching.